I was thinking, I probably should start a company. I probably should start a product and something I'm really passionate about and start making content for said product. This is a bad thing. I don't think this is a good thing, but I kind of ditched the 10 million followers. I kind of put the audience to the side. I'm one of those types where if you chase two things, you don't get either. And I'm like, I'm going to chase this company. And we had a really good idea, me and my business partners, sour dried fruit, never been done, way easier to make, way better for you, and actually sour. And so I'm like, I think I'm going to stop posting.
Welcome to the Hot Start VC podcast, the show where we break down how celebrities and creators build billion-dollar brands. Today I'm joined by London Lazerson, co-founder of Final Sour, a gaming-themed healthier sour candy brand. The company has raised over $7 million, grown to 500,000 social followers, generated over 1 billion organic views, and recently launched in more than 2,000 Walmart stores. We will dive into London's journey as a creator and how he achieved 10 million followers, the broader creator entrepreneurship landscape, the strategy behind building Final Sour beyond his personal following, and what is next for the company. So without further ado, let's get into the conversation. London, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, congrats on getting Final Sour into Walmart. What has it been like to seeing your own products on the shelf of the largest retailer in the world?
It's funny, and I'm not gonna downplay the opportunity because it's a big win for us. But at the same time, when you're working on a product so long, every single day in the trenches, we've been doing Final Sour for just over or almost 3 years now, just over 3 years, sorry. And so to see it hit Walmart is on one side of the coin the most amazing experience of my life. And on the same side of the coin, another day at the office, just because we've been working towards this for years. Again, I don't want to sound ungrateful. I don't want to sound like I'm taking it for granted, but we've been working at this for a very long time. So to see it in person gave me the chills.
Yeah, I can imagine. And before we talk about Final Sour, I actually want to talk and start with your career as a content creator. So over the years, you have built an audience of over 10 million followers. But let's go back to those early days. So when did you decide to start creating content and what type of content was that?
It's an interesting story. In 2015, 11 years ago, I saw an article on the internet explaining that Logan Paul, who you have Prime in your background, made $50,000 from a single post. And this is the first time I'm hearing that creators online are making money. YouTube was huge, but like the creator economy wasn't a thing in 2015. Everybody was doing deals under the table. And I was working a job making $28,000 a year. So I said to myself, wow, there is some real benefits to being a content creator. And I was already going down that path. So in 2015, started my content creator journey and just slacked at it, did really bad at it until 2020 when I decided to take it very seriously. So my TikTok started growing in late 2020. By 2021, I had a couple million followers. And I was doing content around my Tesla. Looking back, it's so cringy. And that's what I'll say. Like, I say this to any new or seasoned content creator. If you look back and your content isn't cringe and you haven't grown up from the content, you're probably still cringe. And it's probably time to refresh. So looking back at it, it got me to where I am, but I was doing stunts with my Tesla. And then the thing that really took over was somebody along the way was like, this kid, my comments actually, my comment section kept saying, this guy looks like the kid from Home Alone. Don't know if you've seen that content, but I started recreating the movie. We started doing frame by frame recreations of the scenes, like as perfectly as we could get them. And that went really viral. That was kind of my viral moment. This was like 2022, 2023. And just every Christmas we would do this Home Alone series where I'd post new scenes every single day for the 30 days. Like every November or every December, I'd gain like 1 million followers, like easy. It was so much fun. It was a hack.
Yeah, very interesting. And how has it evolved to what is it today? Like what type of content do you produce today?
Well, look, I have completely gone away from being a daily content creator. I don't do it daily anymore because somewhere along the way, and again, I was still early on the TikTok days. Like my rise on TikTok was when TikTok wasn't cool, when everybody wasn't trying to do TikTok. So with that came like ups and downs in revenue. And, I was thinking to myself in like 2022, 2023, I was thinking, I probably should start a company. I probably should start a product and something I'm really passionate about and start making content for said product. This is a bad thing. I don't think this is a good thing, but I kind of ditched the 10 million followers. I kind of put the audience to the side. I'm one of those types where if you chase two things, you don't get either. And I'm like, I'm going to chase this company. And we had a really good idea, me and my business partners, sour dried fruit, never been done, way easier to make, way better for you, and actually sour. And so I'm like, I think I'm going to stop posting, which was really hard for me because from 2020 to 2023, I had posted every single day. 2 of those years I had posted 3 times a day, and I hadn't ever missed a day. That's how much in the trenches I was. So to leave that behind and now create content for Final Boss Sour was really hard. But I mean, we're in Walmart. We're in 2,000 Walmart, so it's starting to pay off now. It was a little bit of an ego bruise, not seeing the views, not seeing the likes, not seeing the comments come through every day. But I am glad I did it. And now I'm going to start to get back to my audience. And, restarting sucks. It doesn't work all the time. You can go to my TikTok. I got 9 million followers on my TikTok, and the last post has like 2,000 views. Like, that is where I'm at. But again, Final Boss Sour is the priority right now.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And I hear this from so many creator entrepreneurs like yourself. Like, they've been solely focusing on creating content, and they've now built an audience that they can leverage to build a company on top of, and basically leverage their audience to put free eyeballs on their own company. But once they launch a company, they now actually need to allocate time to that. And it means that they have less time to create content, which gives them that unique advantage in the first place. So it's really about leveraging those two. And then for 2 or 3 years, they're focusing on building their company, and now they want to get back to content creation. But the content that you put out 3 years ago doesn't work today anymore. So you kind of have to reinvent yourself as a creator.
No, exactly. And now I'm just lifestyle. Like, I'm just posting what I want to post. If I was generating revenue from my channels, or if that's how I paid for my life, then I would make it work. Like, I just would. I would get back on the grind. I'd get back in the trenches, and I would start to go viral again. There's no questions about it. But Final Boss Sour is infinitely more important than any channel I can create. Like, unless I'm going to be the next Mr. Beast, which I'm not, because nobody is. But unless you're going to get to that level of, Mr. Beast, Eric, Mark Rober, if you're not going to get to that level, short form content fizzles, man. And you see it. You see creators who were at the top of their short form game now nowhere to be seen, no company, and probably working a second job. And I just did not want to do that.
Yeah, I feel you. You already spoiled a little bit about what Final Boss Sour is, but can you tell us more about what is Final Boss Sour and what is also the founding story behind it?
Yeah, so we, in 2022, 2023, my business partner now was like, Spicy is having such a big moment in social media, viral moments, right? You have hot ones, you have the one chip challenge. And when we were kids, Warheads were the challenge. Sour candy was the challenge. You'd save $1, you'd go buy some Warheads, and you and your friends would make faces and try all the different flavors. And like, that was fun. In today's world, all of the sour brands aren't sour. I don't know when the last time you had Sour Patch Kids was, but it's like a sweet treat right now. Literally, I had it just the other day, and I'm like, this isn't even sour. It's called Sour Patch Kids. It's not sour. So that was kind of the genesis of the idea, is there aren't any sour challenges out there. Okay, so we had this idea of a sour challenge, bringing that to social media. It's very easy to demonstrate. We get free content because people want to post their sour faces, right? And once we started exploring what the actual sour product was going to be, we had the idea of doing sour dried cranberries. So literally what is now 48 flavors and 25 different fruits was sour dried cranberries. We started with 3 levels of dried cranberries, and they sold okay. I mean, they didn't sell near as what we're doing now, but that was the original thought. Can you take something that's mildly sour already and natural, literal sour dried cranberries, add a little bit of citric and malic acid to it, and make a sour candy? It tastes like sour candy. The texture is better than sour candy, and it's more sour than sour candy. And we're the inventors of doing sour levels. So for example, if you want to try our mangoes, you can get it in 3 levels of sour. If you want to try our cantaloupe, you can get it in 3 levels of sour. And because of this, we became the world's most viral sour challenge because there wasn't any other sour challenges out there. Now you see a lot of our competitors, which, still haven't done the dried fruit thing, but they're doing levels of sour, and that's kind of become popular as well. And yeah, over the course of 3 years, we've done 48 flavors. So we launch a new flavor every single month, It's a different level of sour and a different fruit. And we've even gone as far as now we can flavor our way in a moderately healthy manner our fruits. So we just launched watermelon strawberries. I mean, and they're insane. They're right here. Let me grab them. So we just launched these. Once a month, we launch a brand new flavor, and we've got a subscription model where people can sign up and get it because these sell out quick. I'll show you what we're working with. So that is a real dried strawberry. Our biggest misconception, because we just call it candy just for sake of branding, but our biggest misconception is that people buy it and they go, whoa, this is a real dried strawberry. This is a real dried mango. This is a real dried kiwi. It's really dried, and these taste like watermelon.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Level 3 also. Okay, look. So it's quite sour already.
I mean, people think I fake it, but I'm like, I don't have a high sour tolerance as is. They're sour. They're just sour.
And how sour is level 4? Like, do you have any comparison with like a famous sour product just for like comparison?
Look, some of our customers say it's the most sour thing they've ever tried. Other customers compare it to, Warheads, or there's this company that's kind of disgusting, but it's called Toxic Waste. What I will say is, since it is dried fruit and we can't control those components, you do get a variety. Sometimes you'll pop in our level 4 green apples and it's more sweet than it was, the last time you had it, depending on the apple we're using. So we do have a little bit of variable, but the general consensus is our products are the most sour thing that people have had either in their life or in the last decade.
What I think is very interesting is that most companies, they typically innovate on one thing. So they innovate on the product or they innovate on the go-to-market strategy. You guys have completely reinvented the wheel when it comes to selling candy. You guys have obviously a different go-to-market strategy with all these challenges. You have a subscription model. You have these 48 different products in 3 years, which is just insane. So talking about that whole product innovation, how do you guys approach product innovation and always coming up with these new flavors? Like 48 in 3 years is more than 12 a year. And then also, why has that been important to have that many SKUs for you guys?
It's really interesting. And I actually had this ready for you. I have the list of our flavors right here. Yeah. So, I mean, let me just list some of these just so the viewer or the listeners can get an idea. So it went cranberries. So dried cranberries. These are all dried, obviously. Cranberries, blueberries, strawberry, mango. We did chocolate strawberries, which was insane. So we covered sour strawberries in chocolate. Then that led us to sour colada, which was dried coconut, dried mango, and dried pineapple. And then that led us to cherries, dried cherries. So dried cherries, we did a margarita, we did a jungle juice, strawberry kiwi, blue raspberry mango, sour grapes, which was like green raisins, which were incredible as well. We've done a Halloween pack, churro apple dippers. So you lick a dried apple and dip it in sour churro. It somehow worked. So this is all kudos to my business partner, Tommy. He's over operations. It just makes it sounds insane to do 48 flavors in 3 years, right? Because you talk to Sour Patch Kids, which have done 15 flavors since 1993. And that's just because they're having to like artificially concoct these toxic chemicals together and get the flavoring just right and then mass produce. It's just difficult. With us, we're getting on the internet and saying, can you dry cantaloupe? And then we order a sample. Oh my gosh, cantaloupe's amazing. Okay, can you dry ginger? Like we just tried ginger. I don't think we're going to do it, but the product is already made. The product is already made. Now we just add our sour and we test our sour levels to it. So again, it's not that complicated. Now, to get the recipe perfect like we've done, very complicated. You can't just go buy the strawberries and get the citric acid and make it good, right? The way we mix it, the way we tumble it, the correct amounts of citric acid we use makes the product what it is today. But the product is already made. And I think that's why a lot of people are behind it, because they're eating, at the end of the day, they're eating a dried strawberry or they're eating a dried mangoes. Then once you do the normal flavors, now we can do the additives, right? We can add a little touch of flavor like watermelon strawberries. We've done a ton of different strawberries. And what was the second question?
Why is it important to have that many SKUs?
Perfect. I love this question. We launched with sour dried cranberries, kind of a small percentage of people who even want to try that. Every time we launch a new flavor, we're acquiring so many brand new customers and so many repeat. So our philosophy is we have a flavor for everybody and we just need to launch it. For example, when we launched I think this has acquired 1,000 new customers over the last, so that's 1,000 people that have probably seen our ads, are probably in the funnel, who just didn't want to do the kiwis or didn't want to do the sour oranges or didn't want to do the mangoes. And then they go, oh, watermelon strawberry, that sounds good. Click. Right? So, and it's just badass. The last Friday of every single month, you can count on a new Final Boss sour flavor. That's like what Crumble did so well. Right? They have their rotating weekly menu. So we're in that vein for sure. So again, I believe that everybody in the world will get the chance to try Final Boss Sour. It just depends what flavor.
Yeah, obviously collectibles is now a big thing. So I can't wait for your company to be acquired for multi-billions of dollars. And then there's going to be people who are like, look behind me, I got the 150 flavors first edition of Final Boss Sour. And it sells also for a couple, 10,000.
Wait, I actually have a really cool collectible I want to show you. I see a prime bottle.
Right.
But not just any prime bottle. This is from the very first batch prime ever released. So Logan Paul in 2022 put a link on his Instagram story saying this is the first batch we were ever going to release. I bought 2 cases of it and I drank all of them. Right before I opened this one, okay, this was my last one, he posted, and this is probably a month or 2 after Prime had launched, he posted that the very first batch of Prime ever had a typo. Did you know this?
No, I did not. No.
Okay, so instead of ingredients, it says ingredients.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Is this going to be worth money one day? Probably. I've got a bigger plan. Actually, I want to like encase this in epoxy and give it to Logan Paul one day. Give it back to him.
Yeah, Logan Paul is obviously one of the biggest collectors himself, and he has companies, investments into the collectible space. So I think he would love that. Yeah, for sure.
Ingredients. So that is really cool. I've held on to this since 2022.
So yeah, you recently launched into Walmart. And how does managing such a large amount of different SKUs, different product actually translate into retail? Because they're not going to give you 48 different slots.
No. So, and let's back up on the 48 flavors. Most of those are limited drops. Most of those you can't buy. And to your point about collectibles, some of our flavors they buy once, they become obsessed with the oranges. They run back to the website. It's not available. And so that is more ammo for them to subscribe to our thing so they don't miss the flavors, right? Yeah. So with Walmart, we just did a 6-week test. I don't know if you know how Walmart works or if the listeners know how Walmart works. Unless you're Mr. Beast or a giant household name brand, you don't just get into Walmart permanently. You got to go through a series of tests. We're probably going to be doing 1 or 2 tests. Our first test ends tomorrow. Most of our products is already sold out, which is great. So our first test ends tomorrow, and they're going to get us data back and then give us the okay if we go permanent and where we go permanent. So our next test might be back of store, might be in candy aisle, which would be awesome. And it might just be another front of store test. So right now they took our 4 best SKUs, which is level 4 green apples, level 3 watermelon kiwi, level 2 strawberry mango, and level 1 strawberry lemonade, which is my favorite. And we did at every checkout. So we did a front of store checkout test, and it was a crazy month getting all that product ready. 2,000. So we tested in 2,000 Walmarts across the country. The operations team was up day and night for like 3 weeks trying to fill these pouches because we had never done an order that big.
Yeah, I can imagine. And how has been the first initial feedback? Has it been positive?
It's been positive. There's been many days where we've doubled velocity, and there's been many days where we've come short of velocity. So I think on average, we're doing about what they expected us to do. And we just hope to get to the next the next phase. A Walmart account, like a full year of Walmart account, is going to triple our revenue.
And that's just one account, right?
That's just one account, right? Then you get Target. Yeah, then you get Costco. So it's exciting, it's daunting, and I never expected to be in this position ever.
Yeah, I can imagine. So many creators that are launching their own brands, they're heavily building it around their own personal brand. So Chamberlain Coffee from Emma Chamberlain, Prime by Logan Paul at KSI. You've decided early on that you didn't want to do that and build something independent of yourself. and also with success, because if you look at the social channels of Final Boss Sour, you've seen that you guys are the most followed sour candy company. You've established more than 500,000 followers across social media, generating over 1 billion organic views, and also become the #1 selling candy company on TikTok. So could you elaborate on that strategy and the positioning, why that was important for you?
We thought to ourselves, okay, obviously Prime will be acquired one day, or Prime will start acquiring people. What happens if Logan Paul steps down? Is there going to be a dip? I mean, probably not. Prime is massive. It's widely distributed. But that was the first inkling of our thought. Does London Laz's face need to be attached to the brand forever? And I didn't want that, because I knew what we had. I knew this product was going to be great. I knew people would love it. I knew there'd be a flavor for everybody. A Faceless brand that people love has way more runway than a brand where you only buy it through a person. I think about the way actors go about movies. It's like you only go to movies because of this actor, right? Or and you don't realize you're really watching the movie because of the director, right? Of course you need a good actor, but a good director. Like, I go see movies primarily because of the director nowadays. And I think about that. Like, I want people coming to Final Boss because of the brand, not because of me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, what we also see in the market is that the best creator founded brands, they're always supported by a creator, but not dependent on. And it also has to do with the sales cycle, because like a creator might help you sell the first product, but the quality of the product is going to determine if people are going to buy it the second, third, and fourth time. And that's obviously where you build a real business on. So I definitely think that strategy is the right one.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were talking about Joyride and some of these other gummies. I would love to know their repeat customers. I would love to know how many people actually go buy it for a second time. I had a very bad experience with Joyride. The 1 or 2 times I tried a few of their products. I'm always trying other sour candy brands, and I'm a gummy guy. That's how I got to Final Boss Sour. I love gummies. I don't have any on my desk right now, but like, I'm not like opposed to gummies at all. I still love them. It's not what we build. I think our product is much better than a gummy, but people are only buying Joyride, not to throw shade. I love what Ryan Trahan's done. People are only buying it because of him, and the product isn't there, man. I hate to say it. You don't have to say anything, but we'll see where it goes, right? Like Sour Strips. He was a YouTuber. Sour Strips is great, by the way. I love Sour Strips. He was a YouTuber, but like, he was like a founder YouTuber. Like, he was just showing how he's building his company. And I think that's why it did great and sold. It's a good product, and it doesn't have a face attached to it.
Yeah, let's talk about the overall trend of creators and celebrities now launching their own brands. What do you make of that trend?
Quick money. People think because Logan Paul's company is worth $1 billion that you can, and if you have 1 million followers, you can just go start a company. Look, you cannot start a company just because you're a creator. You have to start a company because you know how you're going to distribute it, one, and that you have a good product, genuinely. I know creators in this space who have launched and shut down 4 or 5 products by now. It's a quick way to get a few $100K on the launch day. It's a quick way to look pretty to investors. And so like, if any creator is listening, or anybody who's going to invest in creators is listening, look at the product first. You got to look at the product first. Like, sure, this guy's launching a protein shake and he's got 10 million followers. That's really shiny. Does it taste good? Does it have good macros? Sure, this girl's launching new shoes. Are they comfortable? Like, look, I feel like people aren't looking at the product itself. They just see the shiny 4 million followers.
Yeah, I completely agree. My biggest frustration in the industry has always been also the lack of innovation. So many of them are just white labeling a product, slapping their name on it, and that's it. But yeah, I think investors or business people or even creators, they should just see themselves as one of the ingredients to make it a success. You need a great product, you need a great team, you need a great creator that actually aligns with the audience to actually be successful. And it's not just, hey, I have 20 million followers and this is going to be an instant success.
Right. And look, it will be an instant success, but a very short one. Does that make sense? It's very quick. It's like launch day. I'm launching my new pizza. It's way healthier. You know, you get 50,000 purchases in the first week. And then people are like, I mean, again, unless the product's banger, then nobody's buying it the next time you drop it. And if you're not dropping a new flavor or a new iteration, shout out to a product that I love that's very innovative. Let me grab this. And by the way, I buy creators' products like yourself. Like anytime a creator launches a product, I'll buy it just because I'm in the field. So Clicks and Lacey just launched tap caps. Have you seen these? So these are all collectibles, which is really hot. So you have like rare ones. I also saved one just in case this thing pops off. But here's what I love about these is it fits their niche, like keyboards. I collect keyboards as well. And they have a couple benefits, right? So there's collectibles, right? This one's like low rarity. This one's like medium rarity. But then you can add it to your keyboard. So I can pop it off this keycap and actually put it on my keyboard. I think that's cool. Again, this is only going to live if they do a drop every single month where you are constantly being able to buy and they're constantly making content. Like if this is just something that they have a link in their bio to, which is what a lot of creators do after they launch, it's going to die. Like it's a cool concept, but it'll die. So again, it's fidgety, it's collectible, and it actually fits on your keyboard. I loved it.
We already spoke about Joyride from Ryan Trahan, and there's definitely some other creators who have launched their own candy brand. So behind me you see Shades by Nico Milana. You have One Up by Face Rock. Why do you think creators are particularly drawn to launching their own candy brands?
We all have young audiences. You know, if you go look at my 9 million followers, back when they followed me, they're probably 13. They're probably 16, 17 now. We have young audiences. And candy is nostalgic. It's something we grew up on. It's something we still eat as adults. And there is a lot of factories and a lot of distribution that they will be attracted to you because you have a ton of followers. So we knew that. We knew that going into Final Boss Sour. We just said, how do we not do a gelatin gummy made with horse product? There's these things called dried fruit that people eat anyway. Let's see if we can make it sour.
Yeah, very interesting. Are there any other creator entrepreneurs that you take inspiration from?
I mean, obviously Prime. We like what Prime's doing as like a North Star, big, obviously Feastables. Feastables is great. I'm trying to think of like somebody niche that I look to. You know, in terms of branding, and this is where my head goes. Gary Vee has been talking about this a lot, and we've been talking about this a lot internally, is like branding is dying and relevance is growing, meaning you shouldn't be too worried if a video is on brand. You should be more worried if a video is relevant. And I think Prime and Feastables do a great job at just being relevant and just putting the brand behind, throwing the brand out. And that's something we really try to do, like just what's working on the For You page today, and we inject some Final Boss Sour and trick people into watching it. So like ditch the brand and just become relevant. Just try new things. I feel like a lot of legacy brands have a really hard time doing this.
Yeah. Did you see that Gary Vee launched like a new company this week?
Yeah. What was it? I saw a snippet.
Yeah, I think something like also a candy brand or whatsoever. Or
Of course.
Chewing gum brand or whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. That's right. What are they? Wait, what's it called?
It's
swallowing gum?
No, what's the name again? It's a Vee. Let me check.
Gary Vee.
Yeah, I have it here.
Gum.
Launches gummies with his wife. It's called Very Lucky.
Very Lucky?
Yeah, Very Lucky. Yeah. Very Lucky Gummies, a better for you snack brand made from organic honey, whole fruit purees, fiber, and zero additives.
So this is perfect. This is so perfect. I have a new concept for an ad I'm going to do. We bought this device that can read there's a nitrate in fruit that exists from the time the fruit sprouts to the time it's dried and consumed, right? So like if there is fruit in this gummy, did he claim there was fruit in it?
I think so, yeah.
Like puree?
Yeah, whole fruit purees, yeah.
Okay, so I have this device that has a little pokey on it. You stick it in the product and it'll tell you if it has fruit in it. So what I was gonna do is go to the store and buy all of the fruit snacks and all the gummies that claim it has whole fruit in it and actually test it. Because when you stick the device in one of these strawberries, I mean, it goes to 100. Like it's just like obviously fruit. So I think that'd be funny to kind of prove them right or wrong.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely gonna check it out once the results are there. I'm curious. Yeah, so let's talk about fundraising. So you guys have raised over $7 million to start and launch the company. What has your experience been like raising capital as a creator entrepreneur? Did investors tend to see you as a risk, as a moat, both? Did they even understand it at all?
I think because, to our point earlier, because we're more of a faceless brand, you know, we've got a creator, we've got affiliates. My co-founder Tommy also gets on the camera a lot and talks about our product. I think we were way more attractive. You know, we had a lot of investors saying things like, we love that you have a creator attached, and we love that he's not the sole reason why you guys sell. And look, I'm very new to the venture capital world. I'm very new to the investor world, but my partners aren't. They're seasoned in the world, and I think that's why we've raised so much money. But the thing they keep saying is that it's just been very quick. Like when we opened up the last $4 million round, we closed it in 2 weeks. And I think, again, that's because we've done a good job at covering all our bases. We're good at cinematic content. We're really good at ads. We're really good at affiliates. Our affiliates are really good at TikTok Shop, and we're starting retail. So it's kind of like, you know, you go to another brand and it's like, oh, well, we have this girl who has 10 million followers and she sells $3 million a year through her link in bio. Are you in any stores? No. Does your website do ads? No, we don't need to, because she, you know, like, so we could just answer all the questions because we've tried it all. We've done it all, and we've opened up a lot of channels.
What is next for a Final Boss Sour, and what are you most excited about?
Focus on retail, big focus on retail, and big focus on partnerships. So we just, we did a bridge round. We just closed a bridge round, which I don't know will be too public, but we really want to start doing partnerships with athletes, with bigger creators, you know, bigger than myself or more relevant than myself, and bigger sponsorships. You know, I want to see Final Boss Sour logos on an NBA court. I want to see it because athletes love our stuff. I mean, you'd be shocked at how many, like DeAndre Ayton, the center for the Lakers, literally DM'd the page, can I get a box? And we shipped them a box. You know, without saying names, we have one of the biggest baseball players dropping a new flavor end of March.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, when is this going to come out, actually, this pod?
Probably in 2 weeks' time.
Okay, sweet. So I won't show you that, but yeah, last Friday in March, we're doing a flavor with one of the biggest baseball players.
Yeah, very cool. Are there any like on your dream list of like collaborations? Obviously, like we're talking the bigger the better sometimes. Like it would be great to do a partnership with Mr. Beast, but if we're talking about you personally, like what would be your ultimate partnership person?
Look, what I want Mr. Beast to ditch the gummies. He's launched like 3 different types of gummies. I'm like, ditch the gummies and let's do a final Beast sour. I don't know. Let's do a flavor with you, because he loves innovation. He loves to do things differently, and he would love Final Boss Sour. So that's, again, would we take it? Of course. Are we pressing for it? No. Not at all. So that's kind of, yeah, I want to get bigger YouTubers, and I want to get bigger athletes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Final question on my end. What would be your number one piece of advice for creators who want to start their own company?
Invent something. Be a creator. Creators get to the place they are because they do something different and they do it authentically. When you get to a certain level of being a creator, millions of followers, hundreds of millions of views, the whole 9 yards, you're there because you're an inventor. And I don't want creators to just fall into that white labeling pitfall, right? Where they say, oh, I could do a gummy candy. You know, I could do that and I could sell it better than the next guy. No, invent something. Like obviously we do sour gummies, but it's dried fruit. It's an invention. You know, Logan Paul was big enough that he could just do another hydration drink. But if I'm not at Logan Paul's level, I'm going to try to invent something. Like, I think this is a perfect example. This is something you've never seen. I don't know how it's selling, but it's something you've never seen. I love that. My next piece of advice for creators doing products is it needs to be mega demonstrable. You need to be your fans need to immediately be able to explain it on an Instagram story. If they can't, it's a bad product. Okay. So if I can't open up Tap Caps and explain exactly what it is really quick and show it, don't do it. Don't over convince people to buy it. Like if I can't say it's dried fruit and it's really sour and here's my sour face, nobody's going to talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's great advice, not just for creators, but for any entrepreneur. So many times people reach out to me. Yesterday, actually, someone, and she asked me for like introductions to other investors. And I'm like, look, you already sent me 4 messages. You sent me a pitch deck. I read through it and I still have no clue what you guys are doing.
No, exactly. Like if your pitch deck can't be 2 slides.
Yeah. You're in trouble.
Don't over-inform people.
Yeah. To end, where can people find you?
Anywhere. Final Boss Sour on my channels. I'm London Laz. If you want it now, if we're listening to this now, we might be out of Walmart by the time you're listening to this, but we've got a store locator on our website. We're in every state, so it just depends if it's close enough to you, but drive you can go pick up a few of our products. If not, order on the TikTok shop, order on our website. We've got tons of flavors out right now.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you for listening to the Hot Start VC podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a rating or review. It really helps us grow. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at hotstart.vc for more breakdowns on how celebrities and creators build billion-dollar brands. Thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you in the next episode.